3 Grand Slams have been played this year, and 3 different champions have been crowned on the women's side. Ian Eagle and the editors at Tennis.com talk about the state of the women's game.
Guys, women's tennis is really at an interesting place right now. And I don't know what's better. And this has always been kind of part of the conversation. Is it better to have a dominant champion, or is it better to have a number of players that emerge and win Grand Slams?
I think we can say otherwise and say, it's okay how the WTA is playing itself out right now, but interest in women's tennis, I think, is lagged so far behind the men's game in the past couple of years that it's really suffering from a perception, not just within the tennis community, but from kind of all sports fans here. We have sort of sporadic surges to, big titles, players who win slams and then sort of disappear, trail off. Kim Clijsters was like that a little earlier this year. And it just leaves the whole organization very muddled.
Well, when you mentioned Kim Clijsters, I think you sort of, in a way, put your finger on one of the problems, which is that, it's almost like some of the women that take pride in being part-time players. Same goes with Serena and Venus. When they're in that mode, when they don't really feel like playing a lot, it really hurts the game when they're not present. I think the women are playing more positively, more aggressively than they have in a long time. They're no longer. It used to be that women played not to lose matches, and now it seems to me like more women are playing to win matches. They're stepping up and hitting the ball.
I think as far as whether it's good for women's tennis, it depends on the type of fan you are. I like seeing somebody like Natalie win the French Open, but I think in general people are fans of players, personalities, charismatic. I think people are fans of Federer even before they're fans of tennis. And somebody like Serena stamps that, gives that sort of legitimacy. So I think for the health of the sport, yes, you need somebody like Serena.
You do see instances where in the women's game you have sort of totally unexpected winners, and then once you have these champions here, it just when the pressure seems to come at them, it's like, oh, I'm now one of the top draws here. They've just wilted over the past few years.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that happens routinely, in all honesty.
One thing that hurt also is Justine Henin retiring, just because she plays a different type of game. There's a real similarity to a lot of the women's game right now, where she played something. She had a different style and a sort of a unique game. Her retiring, I think, hurt women's tennis.
And she was dedicated. The other thing with her is that you always sensed with her, and this is what I loved about her, and this is what you love about the men's game.
It was life or death for her.
Yeah. It is life or death. This is what I do. This is who I am. Tennis is the most important thing in my life.
Well, there's certainly variety in the women's game now. Whether or not that is good for the sport remains to be seen.